question for all the men out there. How do you guys know what game you're talking about? When a guy goes up to another guy and he's like, hey, you see the game? And he's like, yeah, I saw it.
People have to understand, guys have an unspoken rule when it comes to talking about sports. Come here. Most of the time, sports is the one thing that guys have in common the most, especially if they don't really know each other. So the most excitement that a guy shows is asking, did you see the game last night? You're not going to be like, no, which game are you talking about? You're going to be like, of course I saw that game last night. Once you confirm you saw a game that you don't really know if you saw, guys go through a mental deduction process, and I'll show you what that looks like. Here's a script that guys normally follow. When they get asked, hey, did you see the game last night? The immediate response has to be, yeah, it was crazy, or yeah, it was wild, because most games are crazy or wild in sports, right? Then after that, you're gonna wait for context clues. If they say, right, like in the second quarter, boom, now you hear quarters, you know it's one of two sports, either basketball or football, because baseball has innings, hockey has periods, golf has holes, right? Now you have to figure out which one of the two sports this person's talking about. So the next response has to be generic. You got to say, what about that offense? Because every sport has an offense. Now they're going to be like, right, like that dunk, boom, we're talking about basketball. Next is called the springboard method. That is where you know you're talking about basketball, but you have to springboard it into a basketball-related topic that you are familiar with, so you are no longer confused and you can keep the conversation going. So you can say something like, man, the game hasn't been the same since Shaq left. Now you're both talking about Shaquille O'Neal. You're comfortable. You can keep the conversation going. You didn't kill the vibe, and you didn't even have to ask a question. That or you saw the game, one of the two. But yeah, that's not how it goes.